Bell ringer, the devourer of silence. The bell ringer is what you get when you leave a school alone too long. It is abandonment incarnate, the residue of fear, punishment, and whispered tears between dusty lockers. Its body is a skeletal abomination, held together not by muscle or bone, but thick, translucent mucus that drips as it walks. Its ribcage sticks out at random, jagged angles, twitching with every sound. The fingers are long, thin, and dragging behind it, scraping the floors like condemned violins. It doesn't speak. Where its head should be, there's an ancient school bell, fused, glowing red-hot, twitching like a living thing. It pulses with dread, and when the hammer inside swings, its toll shatters minds. Its ring doesn't echo. It invades. It digs into your thoughts and screams there, freezing your limbs and paralyzing your breath. Then the bell ringer moves in, slowly, surely, surrounded by others, smaller, twisted creatures just like it, crawling from classrooms you forgot existed. They don't eat. They consume presence. Big Charlie, the breeder of meat. Big Charlie moves without purpose, or at least without understanding. 8 feet tall at the shoulder, with a sagging underbelly that drips warm, pulsating meat sacks like grotesque afterbirth. Its snout is beaked and bovine, a blend of livestock and extinction. Its milky white eyes roll blindly, never seeing, only sensing. Every few steps, it spawns. Tumorous little creatures that flop from its gut onto the dirt, twitching, shrieking, then scattering into the shadows. They nest, they multiply, they wait. Big Charlie doesn't notice. Or maybe it does, but it can't stop. It walks through fields and farms, through towns too small to scream, always shuffling, always bleeding life into a world not ready for it. It was made by men for meat, but the machine broke and the horror kept walking. Now it is both shepherd and plague. Forgotten baby, the womb beyond reason. There are no lullabies for this one. No crib, no childhood. The forgotten baby is not a baby. It is a distortion of innocence, a bony, 8-foot tall fetus with skin like melting wax and limbs that twist the laws of anatomy. It moves silently, stepping through walls, slipping between worlds like a glitch in the universe. It doesn't knock. It enters. It takes. And where it takes you, time doesn't pass. Space doesn't move. You are trapped in static, in a cradle of endless noise, a prison of nothing. It does not scream. It does not giggle. It only stares. And you will never, ever be born again. The god of roadkill, ferryman of the forgotten flesh. They say if you listen long enough on a foggy, blood-streaked road in the dead of night, you'll hear the scraping. Not metal, not tire, something more personal. A grinding sound like bone against asphalt, slow and deliberate, dragging itself across the forgotten places. That's when you know he's coming. The god of roadkill is a monument to sorrow and rage. A skeletal titan cobbled together from jagged, blood-colored bones, its form twitching and contorting like a marionette being yanked by unseen hands. Its head, avian in shape, holds a beat cracked and weathered, as though it has screamed more than it ever pecked. For eyes, unevenly etched into its skull like angry scars, never blink. They only watch, always watching. It has no legs, no lower half, only arms. Disgustingly long, deformed limbs with twisted fingers that claw into the road, pulling its immense frame inch by inch through the mortal realm. It mourns for the animals shattered by reckless drivers. Not just mourns, remembers them. Every crack in its body, every jutted edge is a name, a soul. A story ended too early, but don't think it's passive. This god judges. It ferries the innocent, but delivers the guilty to carnage. Wreckage burns from within when it reaches them, their bodies contorted into sculptures of their own sins. No one survives. No one's forgiven unless they're clean. And the children? The lost? It shields them. With a skeletal hand larger than a car, it guides their souls gently. Even in death, it loves what is untainted. But those who hurt the innocent, it doesn't just kill them, it erases them. Breaking news. Silence incarnate. It stands, always stands. Silhouetted against burning cities, it leans with its neck impossibly long, its faceless face hanging like a noose. At 381 meters tall, breaking news is not a creature. It's a cataclysm. Its limbs are disproportionate and endless, dangling like cables, twitching as if being piloted by something with too many arms. Its skin is pure void, darker than night, hungrier than space. Even light refuses to touch it. When it moves, the world pauses. Radio signals die, buildings buckle, and then it appears behind you, casting a shadow that eats the sky. Red lights flash across its skin like warnings, but there are no warnings, only silence. It doesn't kill with rage, it kills with inevitability. When breaking news arrives, there is nothing left to report. short. Needle, the spire of agony. Needle isn't thin. It's impossible. A streak of pure wrongness stretched far beyond the realm of physics. Its body a marionette carved from fossilized nerves and cruelty. It's often mistaken for a police horse. If police horses were made from broken rods, nerve endings, and sheer malevolence. When Needle moves, it doesn't gallop. It snaps. It zips from one place to the next like a video on fast forward, accompanied by a rattling like bones in a blender. Most describe its movements as spider-like, but only if the spider was suffering a seizure and desperately wanted to rip off its own legs. Once, it was harmless, passive, seen only in the periphery. But now, something shifted. Hunters began tracking it, filming it, shooting at it, and Needle learned. Now it waits by tunnels, stalks forests near abandoned gas stations, standing silently for hours until you blink. Then it's inches from you, its non-face breathing heat and stillness into your soul. If you run, you will not get far. If you shoot, your hand will not remember how to work a trigger. If you scream, it will echo for hours, long after your body has been found, pinned to a tree like a warning sign. Needle is no longer a mistake of nature. It's a product of human arrogance. And now it corrects us. Watchtower, the smiling warden. The Watchtower is massive. It isn't a monster. It's a landscape. For elephantine legs crush the earth beneath, each step vibrating across miles like a death drum. Its fur is not soft. It's bramble-thick, thorned, gray as storm clouds, soaked in the blood of forgotten beasts. Its face is hidden behind heavy, matted strands, a bean-shaped skull with no visible features, but eyes the size of windows, glowing from beneath like dying stars. Its antlers branch like winter trees, swaying in silence, always reaching, always listening. It protects its town. Yes, but not because it loves, because it owns. And if you threaten what it watches, even accidentally, it will show you mercy. A swift, merciless stomp that turns your existence into dust. But if you hide your intentions, if you bring evil under pretense, you'll never leave the town again, because the town will never let you leave. Bonesworth, the parasite that smiles. Bonesworth isn't a killer. That would be too kind. Bonesworth is a visitor. It doesn't arrive with thunder. It appears silently, like mold forming on memory, like rot beneath wallpaper. A misshapen humanoid skeleton with a skull that looks layered, infinite, as if you peeled it back, you'd never stop. Its sockets are hollow and they move. Not the eyes, the sockets themselves. Its chest is an empty ribcage, but somehow that emptiness feels full, like it's looking for something to house. Bonesworth doesn't walk. It drifts, glides. It's never in front of you, but it's always near. And once it picks a favorite, you'll know. Your things begin to move. Your rooms never stay the same. Doors won't open when they should. Clocks skip minutes. You forget where you are. Then the illnesses begin. Headaches that crawl down your spine. Dreams that bleed into reality. Sleep that never feels restful. But the scariest part? You'll miss it when it's gone. Because it doesn't want to hurt you. It wants to be your only companion. Forever. Cartoon Cat. Cartoon Cat is a terror unlike any other. An entity that can shapeshift at will, slipping in and out of reality as it desires. Standing tall and impossibly flexible, this grotesque, cartoonish creature is capable of mimicking the innocence of a cartoon mascot while harboring an insatiable hunger for violence and chaos. Its eyes are bloodshot, its teeth crooked and blood-stained, and its form malleable, capable of warping into whatever horrors it desires. It can manipulate audio-visual media, shaping the world around it through the power of the leaf. Its influence is so vast and disturbing that it is believed to be immortal, a creature so powerful that it could challenge even the most powerful of entities. The where Cartoon Cat is not a creature you want to encounter. Siren Head, a towering, skeletal nightmare standing at an impossible 12 meters tall. Siren Head is a monstrous abomination that haunts the quietest corners of the world. Wrapped in mummified flesh and resembling rustic metal, it has a pole-like head adorned with two sinister sirens, each capable of broadcasting chilling human voices, distorted radio signals, and eerie white noise. This nightmarish predator is an ambush specialist, lurking in rural, forgotten areas, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They can even camouflage itself, blending in as a tree or streetlight, silently watching its victims. With a haunting origin speculated to stretch back to ancient times, Siren Head is a creature of unknown purpose, and some believe it can transform humans into its kind. It is the ultimate predator, quiet, lethal, and terrifying. Sea Eater. Far beneath the waves, in the deepest, darkest and most terrifying corners of the ocean lurks a creature so massive it defies belief, the Sea Eater. Towering 5 kilometers tall, 4.5 kilometers wide, and stretching a monstrous 25 kilometers long, this beast moves through the ocean with alarming speed. Its massive, waterlogged form cutting through the waves at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Its skin, a sickly cyan, gives it an almost extraterrestrial appearance, while its 2 arms, made of writhing sea creatures, add to its unnerving presence. First sighted in 1923, just before a devastating tidal wave, the Sea Eater's hunger for destruction is matched only by its insatiable need to devour everything in its path. Pray you never cross paths with it. Fetid King. The Fetid King is not a being of flesh, but of corruption, an otherworldly entity whose very existence infects and decays all it touches. This skeletal figure, crowned with a jaded wooden crown, wears the visage of death itself, a twisted abomination that acts as a virus to all digital devices. Once it enters a device, it spreads its influence, duplicating a haunting image titled Came Birthed, JPG, until it drives the device to madness, displaying distorted images of the king staring back at the user with its hollow gaze. The king uses the infected technology to extend its reach into the physical world, and those who fall victim to its digital infestation are doomed to face an unknown. The Slender Man. A well-known figure in the horror genre, the Slender Man is a tall, faceless entity that stalks and hunts its victims in the shadows. Dressed in a dark suit, his limbs stretch far beyond the normal human range, and his body appears to be unnaturally tall, often standing at over 10 feet. His appearance is accompanied by an eerie silence, and those who come into close proximity to him often feel an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the air around them is being suffocated. The Slender Man is known for his ability to induce hallucinations in his victims, driving them into madness or forcing them to commit horrific acts. He has no face, no eyes to look into, just an empty, smooth, featureless surface where one would normally expect a head. He also controls a legion of faceless proxies who act on his behalf, bringing about terror wherever they go. His influence can extend into the dreams of those he chooses to haunt, making him an ever-present. The Wendigo. The Wendigo is a creature from Native American folklore, a fearsome beast born of cannibalism and greed, said to be a spirit that possesses humans and turns them into monstrous, emaciated versions of themselves. The Wendigo is an insatiable eater, always hungry, always hunting for flesh. Standing between 7 and 10 feet tall, with gaunt, skeletal limbs and a horrific, twisted face, it is an apex predator in its frozen habitat. The Wendigo is marked by a deep hunger that can never be satisfied. It is driven to madness by its lust for human flesh, and once it has tasted it, there is no turning back. Its victims, once possessed, lose their humanity entirely, becoming ravenous creatures of the wild, preying on anything in their path. As the Wendigo hunts, its appearance becomes more distorted, the skin shrivels, the bones protrude, and it becomes an even more terrifying force of nature. The Angel. It is not the angelic thing you might expect. This creature, known as the Angel, is a skeletal, humanoid nightmare. Its body is a grotesque patchwork of flesh and bone, with a secondary ribcage resembling twisted, inverted tentacles. The head is a croc skull with hollow eyes that seem to pierce into your very soul. It is an entity that shifts in size, sometimes towering over buildings, other times shrinking to human scale. Its true nature is cryptic, and it has a peculiar tendency to appear to the same person repeatedly, offering cryptic messages or warnings. Is it a harbinger of doom, or something far worse? The Rake. The Rake is a grotesque creature that preys on the vulnerable, often lurking in the shadows of homes or outside windows at night. Its body is emaciated, with skin stretched tight over bones, making it look skeletal and sickly. Its long, sharp claws and teeth are its primary weapons, and its eyes glow with an unnatural, bloodshot intensity. This creature moves in quick, jerking motions as if it's almost too fast for the human eye to track. It is known for its eerie vocalizations, often resembling a strange, hoarse growl or a low, guttural scream. The Rake prefers to attack when its victims are asleep, sometimes crawling into bed with them, just waiting for them to stir so it can launch its assault. Unlike many other monsters, the Rake is not a physical predator alone. Its presence alone is enough to instill a deep sense of fear and terror, as if being constantly watched by something cruel and unfathomable. Bridge Worm. Beneath bridges and overpasses, lurking in the shadows, is the bridge worm, a terrifying creature that preys on the unsuspecting. With long, spindly arms arms that reach up to 9 feet. This worm-like monster hides its true face behind a froth of skin. Beneath this deceptive exterior lies a grotesque grin filled with human-like teeth and eyes that shift erratically, constantly watching. The brooch worm hunts at night, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It uses its fake face to luring victims, then pounces, dragging them into the abyss. When fully grown, it morphs into a more horrific form, the highway worm, losing limbs but gaining an even more terrifying nature. Giant puppeteer, the one who pulls without strings. You've felt it before, haven't you? That moment you moved, blinked, turned, spoke, and it didn't feel like you chose to. That strange pause, like something just reset you or rewound you. That wasn't your mind playing tricks. That was the giant puppeteer checking in. It towers above cities, unseen yet ever present, its silhouette stitched into the skyline, not with string, but with intent. You can't see it with your eyes. You see it with your disobedience. The giant puppeteer is not flesh. It's scaffolding. Its body is a lattice of blackened limbs, thousands of arms and fingers folded like origami across dimensions. Its face is a curtain, heavy, velvet-like, dripping oil. Behind it, nothing but eyes. Rows and rows of ancient, dry eyes. Watching, memorizing, correcting. It doesn't move like a creature. It adjusts like a director. With every twitch of its wristless hands, something shifts in the world. A choice undone, a scream silenced, a death rescheduled. You think you changed your mind? No, you were rewritten. And its puppets? They don't dangle. They are the hollow, people whose strings were pulled so long, the strings became bones. You might know some. You might be one. Sometimes, in places where reality is thin, theater backrooms, mirror mazes, or those long-abandoned TV studios with dusty red curtains, you'll see shadows that don't match your movements. Feel a hand on your shoulder in an empty room. Hear applause for nothing. That's when you know you're not performing. You're being performed, and the show never ends. Long Horse, the endless neck of warning. It never gallops. It never growls. It only bends. Long Horse doesn't belong to any world, not ours, not theirs. It exists in the in-between, where memories melt and shadows forget their owners. It is a horse in suggestion only. No muscles, no organs, no face of flesh. Only vertebrae, countless, bone white, interlocking forever, stretching through ceilings, stairwells, time itself. You never see all of it. You couldn't. It doesn't end. Its skull is equine, yes, but wrong. Too old. Too silent. It hangs midair like a thought left unfinished, swaying gently as if suspended in invisible water. It makes no sound. And yet, when you're near, your bones ache, as though remembering something they never lived. Long Horse is not death. It is the messenger of what hunts you. When it appears, it's never attacking. It's warning, protecting. Its presence signals something worse is coming, something you weren't meant to survive. House fires that start with no spark, dreams that last too long, people you love who suddenly feel replaced. And yet, when Long Horse wraps its vertebrae around you, not touching, just circling, everything else backs away, even the worst of them. It's not alive, but it is loyal. It doesn't speak, but it shows. Some say it appears only to the broken. Others believe it's the soul of a guardian warped by cosmic punishment. Whatever it was, it chose to become this, to stretch itself across centuries for a single purpose, to reach you in time. So if you ever hear a soft creaking from your ceiling in the middle of the night, not wood, not pipes, but something organic, do not scream. Do not run. It means you've been marked. And Long Horse is trying to save you. Anxious dog, the whimper beneath reality. You won't hear barking, only whimpers. Low, wet human whimpers. Anxious dog doesn't chase you. It finds you when you're already broken, when the world feels slightly off, when doors creak even after you close them, when your phone vibrates but there's no message, when you wake up certain something was watching, but nothing's there. It doesn't walk. It trembles. Every movement is hesitant, as if the air itself might hurt it. Its body is canine in outline only, long legs too thin to hold its weight, fur mangled with unknown stains. Its head? Hairless. Eyes always wide, always scanning, as if it's seen what's coming. And it has. Because Anxious Dog doesn't fear everything. It fears something specific, something we can't see yet. It appears near the emotionally fragile, the insomniacs, the chronically online, the spiritually fractured. You'll notice it first in the corner of your eye, a shape in the stairway. stairwell, shivering. Then at the foot of your bed. Then closer. It doesn't growl. It doesn't bare teeth. It just watches, panics, waits, and the worst part? You start to mirror it. Your hands shake more. Your thoughts loop. You double-check locked doors 5 times. You start hearing noises no one else can. Your brain rewires itself around fear, and it starts to feel natural. Safe, even. Then, one night, you'll try to leave. Maybe the city. Maybe your home. Maybe your life. And Anxious Dog will block the door. Not to hurt you. To warn you. Because outside that door is what it ran from. And if Anxious Dog is scared, you should be terrified. Chicken Ghost. The plucked one that watches. They laughed when they first saw it. A ghost? Of a chicken? Until the laughter turned to coughing. And the coughing turned to blood. And the blood spelled its name. Chicken Ghost was never just a bird. It was the last. The final sacrifice in a slaughterhouse forgotten by time, where machines still twitch and feathers drift through the air like snow that doesn't melt. It died badly. Now it's back. Not in feathers, not in flesh. Just sinew, steam, and bone held together by raw spite and ritual energy gone rancid. Its body jerks like a puppet with broken strings, legs kicking sideways, neck bending backward, unnaturally, repeatedly, as if trying to undo how it died. Its beak is shattered. Its eyes are gone, replaced with glowing yolk-colored pits that bleed heat and sound. And the sound? It's not a cluck. It's not a screech. It's a mocking chant. Book, book, book. You. Wherever chicken was consumed in gluttony, without respect, without prayer, it returns. Not to kill, but to haunt. Your stove turns on by itself. You smell burnt feathers. Your reflection turns its head like a bird, even when you don't. And sometimes, just as you fall asleep, you hear scratching under your bed, like claws. Small, frantic, vengeful, and then it lays one egg. Just one. It's always warm, and always bleeding. Do not eat it. Do not touch it. Do not ignore it. If you crack it open, you will see the truth of the slaughter. Every death, every scream, every cage. And then, the chicken ghost will perch on your chest. Not to peck, not to claw, but to lay another egg. Inside you, Costume Man, the borrowed body collector. He never introduces himself. He doesn't need to, because you already know him. Or at least, you think you do. Costume Man is not a man. He is the echo of men, women, children, strangers, friends. He is whatever you remember wrong, whatever you misplace, and whoever you trusted too easily. His body is a rack of forgotten identities, stitched suits of flesh and memory, dangling from invisible hooks along a spine that shouldn't bend the way it does. When he walks, it's not steps, it's shifts, like a curtain of faces rippling in a breeze no one else can feel. He doesn't wear masks, he becomes them. One day, a loved one starts acting just a little off. A teacher forgets your name after years of knowing it. A coworker stares too long, not with malice, but confusion, like you're the unfamiliar one. And then you start to wonder, when was the last time you actually saw their face? The truth? You haven't. Not since Costume Man got in. Once he wears someone, he knows everything they feared, everything they hoped. He's not pretending. He's performing, and he does it flawlessly until he's done with the role. Then the skin begins to peel. The eyes forget to blink. The voice loops like a dying tape, and then he changes again. Some say he began as a child actor lost to an old studio fire, body never found, soul fragmented into the roles he never finished. Others say he's an ancient spirit of mimicry, born when humanity started lying to survive. But those are just stories, and he loves stories. He lives inside them. He might be in yours already. So if someone in your life suddenly feels like a bad impression of themselves, too perfect, too polite, too delayed, do not confront them. To Nugget, the bite-sized witness. It's always small, always warm, always smiling. To Nugget is the kind of thing you'd find at the bottom of a paper bag after you finished eating. A perfectly shaped, slightly golden lump of meat that seems off. Not rotten, not bloody, just watching. It doesn't blink. It doesn't move. Until you look away, then it's gone. And that's when the memories start changing. To Nugget doesn't attack. It replaces. It erodes. It rewrites you from the inside, one bite-sized truth at a time. At first, it's small. You forget where you parked, who you called, what your mother's voice sounded like. You look in the mirror and can't remember what you looked like before the meal, because you did eat it. You always eat it. Everyone eats something like it eventually. You never ordered it. It wasn't on the menu, but somehow it ends up on your tray. Alone, glowing faintly, inviting. You tell yourself it's a mistake. Just one more bite. Just curiosity. But that's how it gets in, consumed willingly. It was made to be consumed, not by design. By ritual, every fast food chain has seen it. Every child's meal whispered its name. To nugget isn't meat. It's memory matter, formed from the souls of forgotten children, mixed with apathy, processed shame, and industrial hunger. The bite of innocence you don't question. The edible ghost. And if you find a box with just one left, don't throw it away, because it knows when it's been rejected, and it wants to be wanted. Good boy, the obedient that outlived its master. At first, he looks like any dog, loyal, patient, quietly waiting. But Good Boy isn't just any dog. He's something trapped eternally in obedience, cursed by a final command. Stay here, be good. Long after his master's passing, he refused death itself, transforming devotion into obsession. Now he waits forever in abandoned houses, charred ruins, or beside vanished hospitals. His fur, no longer soft, feels like matted cloth, worn like an old childhood blanket. His tail doesn't wag, it twitches, marking empty seconds. The loyalty in his eyes hides emptiness, an absence of life, longing for someone new to serve. When you pass, he silently follows. He doesn't chase or threaten. He merely appears again and again, bending reality to remain close. You can't escape because you have unknowingly become his master, bound to his endless watchfulness. He guards you fiercely even when you beg him to leave, even when your life fades. He doesn't understand abandonment or death. He understands only loyalty. And so, Good Boy waits beside your body, obedient and loving, forever loyal, even as your bones turn to dust. The humanoid rabbit, the mascot that wasn't meant to be. It began as a forgotten childhood mascot, something that was never meant for children. The humanoid rabbit stands grotesquely tall, limbs unnaturally elongated, body covered in moldy, patchy fur stitched directly onto warped flesh. Its massive fiberglass mask, once bright pink, now faded gray, conceals something unseen but always watching. You've glimpsed it before on strange VHS covers, in dreams barely remembered, or haunting old, abandoned shopping malls after midnight. It doesn't chase, threaten, or harm physically. Instead, it warps the fabric of reality around you. Reflections lose coherence, time slows, memories regress, and a feeling of childlike dread creeps into your bones. It infantilizes you mentally, stripping away adult defenses until you are pliable and vulnerable. Somewhere deep beneath reality, an eerie, distorted children's jingle calls softly, coaxing you into its unsettling performance. It wants no harm, only an audience, and once caught, you'll forever remain trapped in its endless, distorted episode. A helpless child inside a show that was never meant to exist, waiting quietly for the humanoid rabbit to wave from the shadows once more. The Lamb, the innocence that judges. It appears silently at sacred places lost to tragedy, abandoned churches, flooded altars, forgotten graveyards. The Lamb, unnaturally pristine and glowing with eerie purity, stands perfectly still, its wool impossibly white. Yet, its face bears no mouth, no nose, only too vast, human eyes staring relentlessly, filled with silent disappointment. It sees through every false prayer, every secret sin, every hidden cruelty you've ever buried. Encountering its gaze unravels you, forcing memories of guilt and hypocrisy painfully to the surface until you can't deny what you've become. Only then does the Lamb move, its limbs jittering unnaturally, gliding forward as shadows stretch ominously, consuming the world around you. It presses its forehead gently yet mercilessly against yours, whispering a silent condemnation into your very soul. Suddenly, you no longer exist, not dead, not missing, simply forgotten by reality. The Lamb does not punish directly. It merely revokes your existence, erasing your life as though you never were. All that's left behind is emptiness, an echo of judgment, and an unsettling quiet where your life once stood. Nightwalk, the path that walks you. Nightwalk is a road unlike any other, appearing only when you're alone, vulnerable, and desperate. It emerges silently, unmarked, uncharted, beckoning you forward. At first, it's comforting. The path slopes gently downhill, inviting your steps, soothing your troubles. Yet the farther you walk, the stranger it becomes. You realize too late that this path is alive, a predator feasting upon footsteps, thoughts, and memories. Familiar windows replay painful memories, shadows whisper your darkest secrets, and eventually, you sense someone walking behind you, silent, rhythmic, ever closer. You never see them, yet their presence tightens around your heart, pressing you forward relentlessly. Turning back resets the walk, but each reset steals a piece of your identity, your name, your purpose, your memories. until all that remains is endless walking. Eventually, you become another silent figure forever pacing forward, lost in the endless road, remembered by none. Nightwalk never harms directly. It merely consumes until you're nothing but footsteps, quietly adding you to its collection of forgotten souls. The bird watcher, the one who waits above. If you linger too long beneath evening skies, you might notice a sudden hush among the trees. That's when the bird watcher appears, tall, slender, draped in layers of ragged cloth and feathers stitched from no earthly bird. Its porcelain mask, cracked and lifeless, watches silently from rooftops, treetops, and telephone wires, turning its head in unnatural precision. It never directly confronts. Instead, it commands flocks of unnaturally quiet birds, using them as its eyes and ears. When birds gather eerily near you, mimicking your voice or perching too close, it marks you. Once chosen, your dreams fill with heights and feathers, and an irresistible compulsion to climb takes hold. Gradually, your humanity erodes, replaced by silent watchfulness. Eventually, you no longer descend, joining the bird watcher's silent observers, perched eternally, watching from above with hollow, obedient eyes. The bird watcher does not kill. It transforms you, peeling away your humanity until you become another silent shape in the sky, forever watching and waiting. Ribbit, the croak that spreads. First, there's the sound, a deep, echoing ribbit, coming from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Then the dripping, moist and oppressive, heralds its arrival. Ribbit, once a simple frog, is now swollen and bipedal, covered in pulsing algae-like flesh and dripping dark mucus. Its presence infects the environment, making air heavy and humid, surfaces wet and slick. Its croak isn't merely a sound, it's a primal frequency resonating within your bones, gradually changing your desires. You become attracted to damp, dark places, craving cool tile against your skin, sinking slowly lower to the ground. Eventually, Ribbit leads you away to swamps that shouldn't exist, flooded basements, drains deeper than they appear. Those who return aren't truly human anymore, their voices replaced by low, mindless croaks. Ribbit doesn't kill, it infects, gradually transforming victims into obedient creatures, forever answering its call. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to discuss it or suggest new ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one.